beautiful, crisp, clean audio.
I missed a little bit at the end, the extra note.
I know. Sometimes I think about letting it go on just for a laugh, but I'm a professional. So
Too much professionalism in this podcast now.
Yep, that's the trouble.
So, Claire.
Hi.
Russian Ark. Where did you find this? Yeah.
Okay, so we watched with Neil and I, and one of the things we thought was that it seemed a lot like a play in parts. And I had been reading something about films and about longest continuous scenes, and thought that probably the closest you would get to something being like a play would be one continuous scene. And that led me to Russian Ark, and therefore I suggested it.
Well, that's a rabbit hole, isn't it?
Sorry?
That's a bit of a rabbit hole.
Yeah. It was, not something that just crossed my path naturally.
Cool. That's cool.
But yeah, what did everyone think of it?
I love the premise.
Mm-hmm.
Michael?
I also loved the premise.
Fernando?
Yeah, I loved that it was in the museum that I've always wanted to visit.
Yeah.
But I did not understand anything at all, so I had to read. Had to read the Wikipedia page. Well, at least I tried reading the Wikipedia page, and apparently it is considered one of the best Russian film of all time. And I was like, wow. Well, that says something about Russian films.
Some French guy seemed to be pretty on the money.
Yes. Wow. What did you think, Claire?
I found it strangely compelling. I was... I didn't get most of it. I was hoping one of you would understand and be able to explain it all to me. But I found I wanted to keep watching it. I didn't want to, turn it off, which,
absolutely
is something.
Yeah, me too. I thought I was going to kind of hate it after a little while, after it became clear that they weren't really going to explain what was going on, and it really was just going to be like this all the way through. But it was kind of amazing, right? It was kind of just brilliant and beautiful and mysterious and odd, and just every moment of it was so engaging and felt so real. And that's hard to it's hard to say that wasn't good.
It's just a shame there wasn't a story or anything
I think a story might have ruined it.
It seemed like there were 100 stories, right? There were just so many little odd things that were going, because we saw these things. We saw, here's this monarch and here's that monarch and here's a diplomat from this country or that country and here's St. Petersburg during the war and during some other time, and here's some modern people just looking at the paintings, and every single one of those things was engaging. Was sort of, you wanted to know a bit more about it.
Yeah,
I couldn't take my eyes off it.
I dipped in and out where I found the French guy really annoying.
Oh, did you?
Really?
A bit. I was kind of like, I would love to just do a tour of the palace. If this was like a tourism film where we just walk around, we see different people from history. But why do we have to have this guy along for the ride? It's whiny, weird, rumbling.
He kept it moving, though, didn't he? And he did.
He was necessary, I suppose.
He was a much-needed touch of commentary as well.
Oh, yeah, it was all set up. I think the premise is just brilliant. Got an absent, point of view, first-person character that we just followed through their eyes. Amazing.
Yeah.
I just didn't really. I didn't know what was happening. Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, I think it was definitely worth making.
Yes.
I think it was worth watching.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah. I think I quite enjoyed it. Despite not really understanding what was going on most of the time. But I feel like that was part of it, is that you weren't allowed to really feel comfortable or in control. It was all quite dreamlike in a way.
Just as the main character didn't really know what was happening.
Yeah.
We were sort of trying to piece it together. Could you give me your interpretation then? What was going on there, Claire?
Oh, my interpretation. Oh, God knows.
It was a ghost.
It was a ghost. Yeah. So I think, because I was thinking about what Russian arc meant. I guess it's how this one place. It was trying to represent how this one place represents so many people and so many events and so much culture and so much history.
Oh, that's good. I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, so it was very loose with time, but very rigorous with space. So it was just in this one building and just exploring what had happened there and what sort of people had lived there, what sort of people had been there. Maybe in some way that's an arc, because it's like this way of, you know, how like the ark was supposed to save all the animals.
Yeah.
Like a capsule, in a way, of history and culture or something. I don't know. Yeah. That's... How's that? Will that do?
Yeah.
Nice. Well done.
I'll give us something. You agree with that, Laura?
Yeah. That was great. Lovely. No notes.
But explicitly, the main character was a ghost.
Yes, I took that from the beginning, because he said he just remembers some terrible accident. I have no idea what's happening. Where are we? Oh, we're in this time.
Yeah.
That seems straightforward enough.
This is the first thing that's happened to him as he enters the afterlife.
I suppose.
Or maybe on his way to the afterlife.
Maybe he died at the palace as a tourist.
Maybe.
Yeah, there was some emergency.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I didn't quite understand what the rules were for people who could talk to them. Were those also ghosts?
This was, I think, the main ambiguous thing. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it was unclear. Because the first person who interacted with him was, I think, a blind woman. Yeah. I thought maybe that was supposed to be important, but then it seemed to just be random after that who he could interact with.
Yeah.
He literally called her an angel, and I was like, oh, interesting. Maybe we have more.
Yeah, I thought for a minute
afterlifey figures.
She was literally an angel, but no.
I think she was an angel. What do you think, Fernando? Was that blind woman an angel?
I'm going to say yes. I mean, they could be anyone.
Very true.
I'm not sure I understood anything that happened during the film.
Did you think he was a ghost, the main character?
No. No, I thought the main character was... Are we talking about, like, who is the main character? The one that did appear in
the film? The one whose eyes we're looking through.
And
okay. Okay.
Not Withnail.
They were basically Withnail and I, weren't they?
Yeah, I thought it was someone. I thought it was someone who was walking along the museum.
Yeah, we heard their voice, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. Something that you cannot do with ghosts.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah.
It didn't quite seem as simple as a ghost like the Hermitage was haunted, right? Because it felt like it was just this one journey that the guy was making, and then he was moving on.
Now that you're mentioning that the Hermitage was haunted, maybe you've put that thought in my mind, and maybe it is.
Maybe if one place was going to be, it would be a pretty solid place for it.
Yeah, the Winter Palace saw plenty.
We should never go there.
Yeah.
I think we have to. It's next on the...
Next film club trip.
Hop, skip and a jump away from the Pitcairn Islands, aren't we? So.
Yes. Yeah, might wait for certain political events to settle down a bit before I head to the State Hermitage Museum in St. Petersburg. But in fact, I think it might be easier right now for me to go
No. If we want Scottish independence, we might learn something from war. So we have to go there now.
Yeah, good stuff.
So is the Russians are fighting for independence from Ukraine? Is that?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's odd the way propaganda makes you think something completely different's happening, isn't it?
It's amazing. Bloody biased BBC.
Oh dear.
I can't think of a better time to go than when you're 6 months pregnant.
In the middle of winter.
I nearly fell over twice trying to go to South Street today to get some croissants. Imagine me going to fucking northern Russia. To see whether there are ghosts in the Hermitage Museum.
I wonder whether you'd find any croissants and what the Marquis would have to say about it.
Yeah.
They fucking love copying the French, don't they?
Yeah, he was. He had quite a blistering attack on the Russian state.
Big old snob, so he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, have you ever been on holiday with someone like that?
No.
Just a real moan. Nothing's good enough.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think that's what he was doing.
Do you think?
I thought, the European. I thought he was taking a lot of joy from a lot of the things. He was seeing everything through a critical eye, but he was also saying, what did he see? The painting by Van whoever.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God.
Oh shit.
Reverse.
One of them pictures they had on the wall in the big building.
One of them photos they had.
I don't know much about art, but I know what I like.
Vegan Wellingtons.
I like vegan Wellingtons. I like poems that rhyme with each other. Sorry.
Yes, he was from the north.
Yeah, sorry, north. What the hell were we talking about? He was expressing joy in everything he saw, even when he was criticising it. He was doing it in a smiling way, as if to say we're learning something. It was interesting stuff he was pointing out. Like he went walking through that gallery and saying, "Oh, it looks like we're in the Vatican," but of course we're not in the Vatican. And look, they've built this whole place.
But no, he was being such a bitch. He was being like, "Oh, are we in the Vatican?" Oh, is this the Vatican? Is it? It's like we're in Italy, except we're not.
But he was
made that
an important
blistering point about do you value art or its representation or something? I feel like he was saying, none of this is real. You're just trying to represent what someone else has done. He was negging them. He was giving these little compliments, but he wasn't really. They were,
He was pointing out, like, this whole building is completely ill-designed for a cold climate. It's entirely designed for Italy, and they've just taken it and reproduced it. But he said that as if it's a sort of in an interesting way. Though, yes, he was very, very, very much attacking, Russia. Looking up, I don't know if you guys did any more reading on the internet about this.
I really wanted to, but unfortunately I did finish the film at 11:36. So.
Oh, that's why you were 9 minutes late. That's a pretty quick turnaround. Yeah, so he apparently he's meant to represent the Marquise de Custine, who was a 19th century French traveller who went to Russia and had some bad things to say about it. And I think he saw them reading his book, didn't he, when he was with the women in one of the rooms, and said, "Oh, this one's me." Yeah. So according to this, he wrote La Russie en 1839, in which he, quote, depicted Russia in extremely unflattering terms. So I guess that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should read it.
You're very welcome to.
Maybe we should read that after Moby Dick.
Yeah, let's stick it on the list.
Mm-hmm. He's starting, I can feel a bit of an obsession brewing, which is a good thing, I suppose. Sometimes I get this, like with the Mutiny on the Bounty stuff, starting to get a hint that this was going to take over my life for a few months. As it has. Okay. I actually just have 2 new books just arrived. They're downstairs on Mutiny on the Bounty. On that note, from the 1800s. But the Winter Palace and the Tsar and Nicholas II. It's quite good, isn't it? Oh, I really want to learn more
really
about
interesting
that.
stuff.
I want a 20-part podcast about Nicholas II.
Yeah.
So those were my favourite scenes, by the way. Not that anyone asked, but the when we saw the Tsar and the Shah of Iran coming in.
That was great.
That was cool.
Parts of it had truly epic scope, didn't they?
Really did. The costumes and the rooms and the people and the politics.
Yeah. And every detail of it seemed so realistic. If you'd told me, well, I wouldn't have believed you, but if you'd told me that was real footage that was shot at the time in 1830, whatever, I could hardly have disbelieved it. Except that I know that that's impossible. There was no detail that made me think, oh, that doesn't look realistic. It felt so real. And the party at the end where he's walking through the crowd of people dancing and everything.
That was
it gave such a feeling, such a grand feeling of what it must have been like to just be at the centre of this huge empire at such an important time.
Yeah. Yeah, so some of those bigger scenes with presumably not professional actors as extras, I felt taken out a little bit by the glances at the camera.
I thought I saw some glances at the camera.
And you feel like, it's just so... Yeah.
Well, the thing is, some people were interacting with the main character, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. So I suppose it would be they were glancing at the person that we were following.
Maybe, yeah. That would have been one way to stay in the moment.
I think it's consistent with how people kind of see them and kind of don't.
Yeah.
But most people who do see them, it was this very impressionistic, where people weren't acting like they've just seen a ghost. Like you've heard the phrase, you look like you've seen a ghost. Like people would be terrified and scream and run away. But actually the way they do interact is they sort of question them a bit and they ignore them mostly to start with. And then they just twig that they're there and they just get a slight feeling of unease and eventually they'll go over and address them. And I think that was consistent with a few people in a crowd glancing at them, but most people ignoring them.
Yeah, okay. Well,
why did he smell like formaldehyde?
He's preserved.
That makes sense.
He was dead.
Yeah. Cool.
That's the most common use of formaldehyde.
Right.
Apart from methylation of amines.
Well, we've not considered that option, have we? Is that a fair hearing?
Laura, do you know about the cats at the Hermitage Museum?
I don't, but that's also on my list of things to now look up.
They made the one reference to it.
They did.
But they have an army of like 100 cats that live in the place, and they have their little bit just underneath there's a little bit underneath in the sort of basements where all of the cats can come and get fed and get looked after, and where vets see them and stuff. But they're then just let free to just go and roam the entire museum to keep mice and rats away.
Wow.
And they've been kept by like a team of dedicated people who it's their job to keep the cats. And this has been done for hundreds of years or whatever.
I've never heard of this. This is wonderful.
I found that out on a Channel 5 documentary with, what was her name, Claire?
It was Cruises with Jane McDonald.
Cruises with Jane McDonald, which was actually a really great programme where she goes on a cruise and just sort of seeks out this slightly weird stuff. Like, but part of it's like her going through the Russian State Hermitage Museum, but then another part is like her figuring out how to use the laundrette on the ship and chatting to some like Texan women who are trying to figure out how to do it as well. It was a good series. But that's how I'm going to say most of what I know about the Russian State Hermitage Museum is from that.
Yeah.
And now from this film.
I like it when you end up watching those random daytime programs by accident.
Doesn't happen often.
I also watched something like that where someone was touring around Malta And that was when I first came across John the Baptist. And John the Baptist has fucking haunted me ever since. I can't go a week without someone bringing up John the Baptist or me seeing something about John the Baptist. John the Baptist this, John the Baptist that. Oh, wow. John the Baptist, leave me alone.
I mean, do you go to church every week? Because that could be where it's coming up each week.
No, I'm not going to church.
No,
that would be fine if it was one painting and I just saw a painting every. You know, I don't get angry at the paintings I see in my house every day.
Yeah.
I learned an interesting thing about John the Baptist recently.
I don't know anything about John the Baptist. I just see him around.
Right, there we are.
See John hanging about me. What was his deal? He was part of the Knights of Malta or something? I don't...
Miles off. He was older than Jesus. His life overlapped with that of Jesus.
Right.
And he's considered by Christians to have been the sort of forerunner of Jesus, kind of herald. So he was a Jew that lived in Judea, and he went around kind of telling people the Messiah's coming soon, and he got a bunch of followers who really liked him. And then this guy called Jesus turned up, and John the Baptist sort of baptized Jesus and decided Jesus was the guy, and all of that. But curiously, the people who followed John the Baptist, some of them became Christians and some of them didn't. And the ones that didn't are still around. This is an extant religion that a very small group of people still follow and have followed for 2,000 years.
Wow.
I thought that was surprising.
Cool.
Not the exact same people, but presumably their descendants or whatever.
Immortals walking among us.
Yeah.
Until there can be only one.
I think you've taken the wrong message from the
John
story
the
I've
Baptist
just
got
told
beheaded.
them.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I did not know that. But then
because there can be only one.
Oh, right. Fuck's sake.
It all makes sense.
Yep.
Can I just say one more time, I'm so grateful to all of you for not picking Highlander 2 as one of our films that we have to watch.
Don't be premature, Mike.
I do. I want to really emphasise how proud I am of you for not doing it, Laura. Because I know you're the only one who's tempted, and you've been doing a pretty good job of picking other films.
No, now I'm tempted too. Maybe that's going to be my next pick.
Oh, brilliant. Sean Connery's in it.
That doesn't help.
I can't remember how they get round his death in the first one.
They'll think of something.
Yeah, well, indeed.
They'll just come back and play another character, and this one's Italian, and he's still just Sean Connery.
Apparently, John the Baptist's decapitation cloth is in Aachen Cathedral, which I imagine you've seen, Michael.
Right. I've been to Aachen Cathedral. I don't remember seeing that cloth.
Okay.
Where is it?
Often these things, they don't leave it on permanent display.
Mm. Oh, well.
Where's that cathedral?
Aachen is in West Germany.
I see.
Yeah.
Excellent. I feel like there should be a lot more to say about this film, but I also feel
difficult with these ones when they don't have much of a plot and you're just following them around.
I've got more to say.
Yeah, I do as well, actually. I've got a few.
Oh, fantastic.
Well, all right then.
Mine are more conversation points than notes about the film. So, Michael, why don't you take us somewhere else?
So here's the
I've just
main
got some
thing.
filler. Yeah, you go.
Great. Okay.
You can vamp at the end.
You can do that bit after I've left. Sorry. The main thing to know about this film was that the entire film was actually taken in one shot with one camera.
What?
Yeah.
Which is completely astonishing to me.
One shot?
One shot.
I didn't notice. Oh, I can't believe I didn't notice that. Wow.
What I mean is one take. They had several failed takes before it.
Yes.
But they did eventually, nail it. And I thought,
they only had the
isn't
museum
it clever
for 4
how they've
hours.
made it look like just one shot? They only had it for 4 hours.
Yeah.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's pressure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so you thought it had been stitched together to look like one
Yeah.
shot.
And in fact, I thought that was part of the reason that we spend... You know, there were quite a few times where you look directly at a painting and it just looks straight at it, so you can basically see nothing else except this painting. I thought that was probably the stitch point.
Right, yeah.
But no, apparently not. They just did the whole thing in one go.
Wow.
Does it say here they
Bloody
had 4
1917.
attempts?
4 attempts. That's very good. Have you seen 1917?
No, similar kind of idea, right?
They did it all in one shot, except it was actually 2, I think. And I thought, because everyone went back and they were like, oh, what a clever idea. But I'm like, well, not really then, eh? Someone else has done that. Have you seen 1917, Fernando?
Well, all the films that I recorded for school when I was a kid were done in one shot. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you're a real trailblazer.
All the films you recorded for...
When I was in school.
Oh, cool.
For school projects.
How avant-garde of you. What were you filming?
Well, whatever they said that we should, I actually cannot remember. When they said, "Oh, investigate this and make a film of it."
Yeah.
I don't think I ever got told to make a film of something. But...
No, I was never told to make a film.
Which is a shame. Yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
It's quite a good idea.
Is it? Imagine having to watch all that.
I suppose. Still, it's easy to watch films, isn't it?
That's, I suppose.
You can put them on double speed.
Yeah.
But in relation to Russian Ark, yes, I guess it was impressive. Did I think it was impressive? I honestly did not think of it when I was watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the way they managed to create that mood and the way they managed to surprise me so many times was amazing just on its own. But yeah, the fact that they managed to do that actually in one take is just great, because there must have been so many. I mean, I guess it must have been made very clear to everyone exactly where the camera was at every time, but people would be having to go out and run off set and then like do something else, but they'd have had to make sure that they didn't go into the wrong room in order to get out of the way, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
it must
tough.
have been, the logistics must have been so complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to choreograph that quite carefully, I assume.
Yeah.
This reminds me of the music video of Baby, Baby, Baby by Make the Girl Dance, which was also taken one shot and one try.
Interesting.
No, I didn't know that.
Do you think that was a deliberate reference to Russian Ark? Or the
now
other way
I
around,
think-
depending
yeah,
on the
yes.
age of the music video?
Yes, now I think it was, yes. We should all watch that music video when after this episode.
Brilliant. I guess this is what art house cinema is for, right? Trailblazing and establishing things so that mainstream filmmakers can take advantage of it later. Whether it's 2017 or Baby, Baby, Baby.
1917.
Sorry, did I say
First World War, was
2017? I can't remember anything.
I thought 1917 was rubbish, by the way.
I guess I'll give it a miss.
I think you might like it, to be honest. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Who's the director?
Oh, couldn't tell you.
Fine.
I'll look it up. Some guy, I bet it's some famous guy. It's probably James Cameron or something.
I did see Martin Scorsese got a shout out at the end of this film.
Did he?
In the credits, yeah. I don't know what he did. But maybe he just said, oh, that sounds like a good idea. And then, because he's Martin Scorsese, that gets him credit.
Ah, executive producer, I see.
What even is that? So I was quite scathing. I quite like Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, me too.
What were we talking about before we derailed? Oh, the one shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very fluid, wasn't it? They had a lot of... I did feel like I was in some guy's head.
Yeah.
One of the what I didn't like, but I thought they had to do it, they couldn't have done it any other way, was that the voice was clearly recorded in a studio and they weren't actually interacting. I found that quite noticeable and a bit jarring.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I thought it was necessary
great
to have a removed, I thought it was, it needed to be that way. But
yeah, that's what your voice sounds like inside your own head, isn't it?
I suppose so. Yeah, we're inside his consciousness.
Yeah, did the guy ever respond directly to anything he was saying?
Hardly. They had... Yeah, not directly. They were definitely communicating somehow, but neither of them were quite saying... Yeah, there was a disconnect, wasn't there?
Yeah, none of the conversations were very natural or fluid.
So I guess the other question would be, given that we barely understood the film as it was, what would you have done at the end? It seemed like he had a choice, and the European decided to stay at the palace and live there for a while, but the main character decided to move on and sail the sea, whatever that meant. Would you have stayed in the Winter Palace?
I could have gone a bit longer, I guess.
Yeah.
It depends. Is it a final decision? Is it like you have to move on now, or you can just stay here forever?
Wasn't clear, was it? It felt like he was leaving with
forever.
everyone.
Yeah.
I did wonder if it was meant to be that everyone was leaving because everybody who was there was actually another spirit that was participating in the same way. I think that can't quite be right, but it must have been deliberate to have this thing where they were all leaving after a party.
Yeah.
And we were as well. It's funny.
Probably meant something.
There we are.
Probably symbolised something.
I'm really sorry, but I don't have the flute nor the bell. I'm not in Mexico City. I'm sorry.
Oh no! Where are you?
I'm in Valle de Bravo. I'm in my holiday house. Yes.
Oh, lovely.
Weekend.
Oh, very nice. Well, what are we going to do? Maybe you could whistle?
A jaunty tune.
That was a terrible idea.
Absolutely awful. Do you have anything you'd like to say, Laura?
They were the cat and the chicken.
Oh, yeah. What did they say the cat and the chicken represented?
Oh, I can't remember. But it just struck me at the time.
The chicken was greed and
Avarice.
The cat was cruelty.
Yeah.
That can't be right.
Oh.
Was the cat also luxury?
No.
Oh.
Maybe it was, like the party's all over, everyone has to leave, and that was kind of what happened to that being the seat of Russian power. Was it got very dramatically what's the word, evacuated, I suppose, or emptied as a seat of power.
Yeah.
And we were, so the choice is, do you leave with everyone else and embrace the future and the incumbent republic, or do you stay behind and sort of maybe not wallow, but enjoy the grandeur and the luxury of the monarchy for eternity, even if it's all just fake and just memories rather than reality. I don't know. Something.
Oh, you nearly had something there. I thought that was going somewhere.
I felt like it was going somewhere where it tailed off.
You lost confidence with it. Happens to the best of us. It was cool, like just the idea of a place like that holding. I'm struck by that when I'm in these kind of historical buildings. How many people have passed through it, and just the grand scale of human time is what a miracle. What a miracle it is to be alive.
Yeah, so we were in Versailles in the summer.
Yeah,
spring,
exactly.
And it felt a lot like that for me.
Yeah, me too.
Like those people were actually there.
Yeah. Yeah, can you imagine just walking around Versailles and you just run into Marie Antoinette?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
That'd be pretty amazing.
Yeah. So they're like stores for historical memory.
Yeah.
Lovely.
It did feel very like, like after a concert or something and or a show and everyone's leaving afterwards. I think it really felt like that. The whole, like, some people hanging back at the top of the stairs and waving down to their mates, and like everyone's moving slightly slower than comfortable.
Yeah.
For some bizarre reason. It's just that's always the way. It felt very real. Like it felt like a crowd leaving an event. Which, not being in the crowd, wouldn't have been able to emulate. But having felt part of it, I thought that was cool that they managed to capture that feeling.
Yeah.
By having the main character essentially just in the crowd.
And I suppose if it's symbolising the arc, then we've got to have the people disembarking.
Oh, that's a thought.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gone to repopulate the earth. Take that culture and spread it around the earth.
Oh, no. Well, that kind of does make sense, though. It's like the culture is not something that's bound to one place. It's something that is filtered. Yeah. Oh, God, I've lost confidence with that as well now.
All those people they've enjoyed the event and they've said how great it is to be at a party in Russia where everyone's so, like, open or laid back or something. I forget what it was. But, they're all taking their experience of that and through their lens, how they've seen it, and taking that back to wherever they've come from. To share that experience. And it'll be different wherever they go. But
I
suppose this is how culture develops.
There must have been a real feeling at the time. I wonder what it would have felt like to be in Russia in 2002. Because this was not long after the end of the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
It must be about then that they'd finally got a bit of stability and things had settled down and they kind of, knew where they were. And there must have been a feeling of, we need to make art and culture flourish again, as it kind of didn't under the communist regime, and new freedom and that kind of thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, have they been trapped in there all through communism?
That's a thought.
And they're now being released to go and
be a symbol
be creative.
For that.
Yeah, like a cultural glasnost.
What does glasnost mean?
Like openness.
Okay.
Mikhail Gorbachev, that was his program, was glasnost, and it was about openness with the West. I'll get a proper definition rather than my bastardized version. Oh, publicity, openness.
Great. That'll do.
Theirs was particularly about the state and freedom of information and openness and transparency.
Yeah. That's great.
But maybe this was releasing culture back into Russia.
Nailed it.
Oh. You've done it again.
So here's an easy one. Is the
I like it when we categorise them as easy and difficult.
The link to the previous film, which was Enchanted.
Oh yeah, go on.
It's someone sort of going on a tour through another world.
Oh, brilliant!
At another time and learning something from it, but not quite being able to be a part of it. Right?
Nice.
Oh, except that in Enchanted, she chooses to stay, doesn't she?
She does in the end.
She's the marquee.
But the other woman doesn't. The other woman chooses to go back.
That's not really going back, though, is it?
No, that's right. Anyway, Giselle did choose to stay in the end, like the Marquise.
Yeah.
Well, I would argue that the Hermitage is actually Andalasia.
Okay.
And the rest of the world is New York City. So, yes, when the main character was leaving the Hermitage, he was actually going into New York City.
Okay.
I mean, we saw the paintings, which are basically animations, but they don't move.
Yep.
Yeah.
And animations.
Very good. Brilliant.
Yeah, they're just really shit cartoons, aren't they? Like
they hadn't learned to make
Rembrandt
things
and all
move
that.
then. Yeah, so we can't blame them for that. A victim of
Why are
their
the horses
time.
not moving, Turner?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Paintings are shit, aren't
Yeah, boring.
Just like plays.
they? Can you imagine if instead of this being a film club, it was a painting club?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
please.
There was a painting.
Yes, please.
We'd be like, oh, this week's painting I've chosen is, I don't know, Wander Above a Sea of Cloud by whoever.
But
Oh,
actually,
look, it's
that
one
sounds quite
frame.
fun.
Yeah, it would take like 5 minutes and none of us would have anything to say.
That's a cow.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's pretty shit, though, isn't it? They spent all those hours making just one frame of a film, and then these people made an entire film in an hour and a half. Like, none of this pissing about with oils or anything. Just get a camera? Video camera, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine if Da Vinci had turned his hand to something actually good, like filmmaking, rather than just doing a load of stupid paintings that aren't even that good.
Inventing the helicopter.
Yeah, inventing a helicopter that didn't even work. Give the man a camcorder, see what he comes up with.
Oh, I bet it would have been shit.
Probably.
They didn't know how to make films back then.
It would have been like a YouTube video in his bedroom.
Suck on this, Michelangelo. It's just him opening hate mail from his other... Why has he got so many arms?
I wonder how like cringy and emo Mozart's vlogs would have been. So I've just written another symphony. Stupid dad's making me go and play it to the Prince of Prussia.
No one understands me.
Yeah. I did think when I was watching this it would be better if I knew a bit about art, because there's probably more stuff in there.
Yeah, some of them were quite nice to look at, weren't they?
Yeah, some of them were quite good.
I liked that we only had to look at each one for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's right. It did remind me of actually walking around an art gallery and just being like, yep, that's a good one. Yep, yeah. That's a good one. Yep.
Although it did
Don't
feel
like
like going around with an expert as well, didn't it, who actually had something to say about some of the paintings, and that was good.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. What do you think it meant that the angel woman was blind and was looking at the painting?
Yeah, so she was exploring the sculpture, wasn't she? She was touching it and getting that.
That makes sense, but then
she did seem to know about all of the paintings, didn't she?
Yeah, she was describing the paintings to the European.
Yeah, that was odd.
Which is fine. I just feel like they did it for a reason, and I can't puzzle out what the reason was. Maybe it was that art doesn't have to be visual.
Yeah, they certainly made that point, didn't they? I wonder also if it seemed deliberate that they'd gone for that because we didn't quite understand the rules of when people can and can't see them, right? And so it seemed like maybe, that was meant to make us question it a bit. Oh, is there something about her being blind that makes this different? And all of that.
Yeah. Was it just a red herring?
Apparently this was entered at Cannes.
Was it? How did it do?
I don't even care, because apparently we're not allowed to go. I was nominated for the Palme d'Or.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like it was nominated for a lot.
What did get the Palme d'Or?
Yeah.
It was probably freaking Southland Tales or something. But no, that was booed, wasn't it?
Yeah, that would be unlikely.
2002, Palme d'Or, The Pianist. Fair enough.
Oh.
I've never seen The Pianist.
It's
Great
dead
film.
famous, though, isn't it?
Fucking hard going.
Polish, French, German, British.
Yeah.
Marquis
Sounds
would have
about
been all over that.
He would.
What a classic symbol for what this film was trying to tell us.
Which we don't really know.
Here's a question then.
Okay.
You're a ghost. Which historical building you go into and which historical figure you bring in?
Oh, brilliant. Oh, what a great question. Maybe the White House, Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, bet a lot of stuff happened there.
And I'd probably bring Bruce Forsyth.
Good choice. Good choice. He'd be good value.
Isn't it lovely?
No, genuinely, maybe Westminster, maybe the Houses of Parliament.
Oh, okay.
And I would take, maybe Disraeli or something like that. Someone interesting.
Do you take someone historical or someone of the modern age who's studied the history and can explain? Because anything post-Israeli, he can't tell you about.
No, it'd be interesting to see his point of view on things, though, right?
Right.
I could tell him what happened.
I see.
I guess the rule is they have to be dead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Who would you guys take? And where would you go?
I think if it was Westminster, I'd take Gladstone. I think he'd be the most interesting one.
Well, you could pick anywhere. Doesn't have to be
He was
Westminster.
meant to be a real bore, though, right?
I don't know. Well, he certainly had some interesting thoughts.
Okay.
I don't know how he was at expressing them. But
Right. I just know there was all this stuff in Queen Victoria's diaries about how she really hated having to go and meet Gladstone because he just droned on for hours about stuff she wasn't interested in.
yeah, I don't know. He wrote some interesting essays and stuff.
Okay.
Maybe she just didn't like what he talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah, places, other places.
Hard to think of places, actually, off the top of my head. I reckon I might go Versailles. I'm really interested in that.
Versailles would be very, very linked to this, wouldn't it?
I want to see Louis XIV. I want to see Marie Antoinette.
Yeah.
And I'd take Sean Connery with me.
But Sean Connery in the role of Napoleon. But he still sounds Scottish.
Maybe the Parthenon?
Yeah, does it have to still be existing? Can I go to the Forum?
Yeah, you go to the Forum.
Roman Forum with Cicero?
That'd be cool.
With Cicero, yeah, probably Cicero. Or Claudius.
Yeah.
He knew his history.
Yeah, and he'd be able to sort of look back on it.
Yeah.
I'd quite like to meet Bismarck.
Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe I'll bring Bismarck, although why am I bringing him to the Parthenon?
Well, I'm sure he'll have a view. You got one for us, Fernando?
Yes, I was thinking that I would go to whatever Jesus' grave is and ask him, did you really think you were God when you were alive?
Nice.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Also, you would have Jesus be the person you were with.
Yes. Does that mean that I'm secretly a Christian, that I want to be with him?
I guess you'd find out afterwards whether you were a Christian or not, right?
True.
That very much would depend on the answer for me.
Well, even if he says yes, why would you believe him?
I suppose so.
I guess.
That'd be a shame, wouldn't it, if you could pick one of these, like one place and one guide, and you picked a guide that just was a lunatic.
Yeah.
So one place I have been that I'd like to know a lot more about was a place in Lucknow when I was there. And I've had to look up the name. It's called Bara Imambara. But it was like this really amazing, like, magisterial seat in like the 18th century. And it was really cool and had really cool features and had like a labyrinth that you could escape through if the place was attacked and that sort of thing. I'd like to go with someone who'd lived there, but I don't know the names of any of the people that lived there because I forget because it was years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I bet there are hundreds of places just like that all across India. They would have these really fascinating stories, and it'd be interesting to see and to learn more about.
I like it.
Yeah, very good.
Go for that.
Nice to have somewhere that's not European.
Yep.
The only places I can think of are European, which is a dreadful indictment of the British education system, I think.
Did anything really happen outside Europe?
Well, I think when it comes down to it, most of the interesting stuff happened in Europe, right?
Exactly. I mean, nothing. Then can you name something interesting?
I can't even think of any places outside Europe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The most outside thing is maybe mainland Turkey. But even Turkey wants to be Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're basically still in Europe.
What about Spain? Is that Europe?
Yeah, I think...
I'm just joking.
So.
Nothing interesting happens in Spain.
You've never been to Portaventura.
That's true, I haven't.
Nor will you ever.
I don't know. What's the joke? Is that a real place?
Oh, it's a theme park.
Oh, okay. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'd pick Portaventura as my historical place. And I'd still bring Sean Connery. Or Benjamin Disraeli.
Might be interesting to know what Walt Disney thinks of Disney World or Disneyland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder. He wouldn't care as long as it was making him money.
Yeah, probably not.
He'd have some good stuff to say, though. He was still in spin mode after he was dead.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to defrost him and ask. That's not actually true. He wasn't really cryogenically frozen.
You're a Walt Disney conspiracy theorist.
Yes, I am.
Wait, Walt Disney was alive, as in he did live to see his theme park getting built, right?
Oh, yeah, he was the mastermind, basically. I think a lot of it was his idea.
Not Florida, though, right?
Not Florida. Although I think he made a lot of the plans for Florida, right?
Yeah.
And yes, not Paris either.
Not Tokyo Disney?
I think not.
Don't believe so.
That is sad.
Yeah.
That's all my thoughts on Russian Ark.
I'm done as well.
Yeah. Don't suppose we can do which character we all are? We're really characters.
Nah.
I'm the Tsarina.
Who are you? Oh, the Tsarina. Oh, very good. Yes, I think you would be.
Catherine II.
Yes.
Nice.
I'll be that sad little guy making his own coffin.
Oh.
Yeah, he's the only one I can think of at the moment. Shrewd.
I think I'll be the guy in the kitchen who was like, "Sir, your being here is very awkward for us."
Yeah. Claire?
I want to be the woman that was in the room during the Iranian or the Persian apology that just wasn't paying attention and was chatting to her friend.
Nice.
Yeah. Excellent. I do think there's a case for them being with Nil and I.
Yeah, I
Similar dynamic.
think there's something there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so Withnell is sort of guiding I, but in the end, it's I that moves on, leaving Withnell behind, who decides to carry on doing drugs.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Shall I play the music?
I'm ready.
Lovely.
What a film.
What a film.
Yeah, I thought this was a great film.
Oh yeah, thumbs up or thumbs down? Where are we landing?
Definite thumbs up.
I think thumbs up. I don't think I'll watch it again, but...
Difficult. I was definitely thumbs down in the beginning, and now it might be thumbs up. But maybe I just enjoyed our discussion. I don't think I had a very pleasant viewing. Well, I kind of did. I don't know. Pass.
Wow.
Fernando?
I enjoyed our discussion. I'm actually somewhat certain that I did not enjoy the film.
That might be where I am as well.
So I'm going to say, fortunately, thumbs down.
Okay. Yeah. Fair.
Yeah. Me too. Sometimes I had a good time and I enjoyed some of the scenes. Excellent.
But sometimes that's just not enough.
Sometimes it's just not enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We do have to make a field trip to the Hermitage, though.
I'll look forward to it.
Yeah.
As I say, I might give it a couple of years.
No. For Christmas. We have to go for Christmas.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. Oh, our last Christmas.